Well, welcome back and thank you for joining us today. We had a great day yesterday. Great speakers. I really loved the panel and the conversations and the videos from the two senators. Really appreciate all of that. It was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun as well. I'd like to recognize a few of our event sponsors right off the bat, whose support really makes this symposium possible, the virtual conference center possible. And so we'll spend a little bit of time looking at them as well. So first, our title sponsors, the Arizona Department of Veterans Services and the Phoenix VA Healthcare System. We also have our presenting sponsor, that is USAA and APS. And really a special thanks to the Governor's Office for Youth, Faith, and Family and the Arizona Healthcare Cost Containment System, that's ACCESS, for their ongoing partnership and support of our military community. Greatly appreciate their focus on this with us. Partner sponsors, we have Tri-West Healthcare, Solari, Crisis and Human Services. This is the organization formerly known as Crisis Response Network. Congratulations on the rebranding, folks. That looks great. Boeing, the NARBA Institute, Health Choice, and Mercy Care. And I'd like to say that again, Mercy Care. Apologies for excluding you yesterday. You all are wonderful, and we've had a long-standing relationship with you. We appreciate everything that you do. And once again, Mercy Care as a partner sponsor. Thank you so much. And then, of course, we have all of our supporting sponsors as well. And really just thanks to each and every one of them. All of you are really important. And you've just, you make all of this hum along really, really nicely. And so we greatly appreciate not just the financial support for the symposium, but all the partnership and collaboration that we are doing all throughout the year. So now I am pleased to introduce our very first speaker for the day. We're jumping right in, and this is Maria Fuentes. She is the director of the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family, and she was appointed to this role in 2017. Previous to this appointment, she served 6 years in the administration of President George W. Bush in the U.S. Department of Labor and the U.S. Department of Justice. And she also served in the White House Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives. Pretty cool. She worked to help states across the country develop and establish their own faith-based initiatives. It's really important. Since becoming the director of the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family, Ms. Fuentes has been an exceptional in her efforts to support the ACMF, Be Connected, and the military veteran population as a whole. Please join me in welcoming Maria.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's such a pleasure to join you today, even if it's virtual. I look forward to the day that we all come back and have these amazing meetings in person. I want to give a special thanks to Director Wanda Wright and to Thomas and the Arizona Coalition for Military Families for their incredible efforts to serve and support Arizona's military families. This last year, their work and their support has been especially important given the unprecedented challenges that we have all experienced. And we know that our most vulnerable folks experience it in much more acute ways. So we're very, very grateful for all of the work that is ongoing. Providing ongoing assistance to our service members, it's a statewide effort that we're very, very proud to support through our office. We have over 500,000 service members, veterans, and their families in the state, and we are committed to better supporting those who have supported us on the front lines. We're incredibly grateful for their service and the sacrifice, and we recognize the importance of connecting these brave men and women and their families who have selflessly served and sacrificed with the critical ongoing supports that they all need. So for over a decade, GOIFF has been a proud partner and supporter in building support for military members, veterans, and their families statewide. Through our partnership with the Arizona Department of Veterans Services and the Arizona Coalition for Military Families and other organizations across the state, we're very proud to fund the Be Connected program. It connects more than 500,000 service members, veterans, and their families with critical resources, including peer supports, behavioral health services, which aim to reduce death by suicides to Arizona service members. But in doing that, they help support everything that one can imagine a family or an individual can be faced. It's an absolute national model that I've always bragged about, because it's would be something to look at and replicate in other areas and in other spaces in our state. Through the Be Connected Career Navigation Program, military connected career seekers and employers are making critical connections that strengthen our workforce as well. The effort involves our state workforce system, public-private sector employees, and military entities statewide, and we're seeing outstanding outcomes as we help these service members, veterans, and their families advance in their careers and support employers in finding the talent that they need for their teams. So it's remarkable work. And again, I brag on it, not just in these spaces, but really everywhere I go, because in child welfare, we just call it family navigation or warm handoffs, or helping families and kids that are highest needs. But to have this group of folks, such talented individuals with personal lived experience, helping others with similar experiences, you can't really beat that in terms of outcomes and the impact that is having in our military families to improve outcomes and help Arizona thrive. This private-public partnerships in Arizona have been instrumental in really helping so many. So we look forward to making continued investments and establishing partnerships that improve health, well-being, and the security and safety for all of our service members, veterans, and their families statewide. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of those who serve and their families. You are making a difference every day. And it's just a really moving program, because you can see the impact, you can feel it. And it's the data and the work speaks for itself. So it's really my privilege and my pleasure to be a partner and a collaborator in this work, and to have joined you today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. We really appreciate it. The governor's office for youth, faith, and family, and really you directly. I love the story that you tell sometimes about. I think it was your first week or first couple of days that, Tanya Hamilton had brought us in to meet, and here we are. We're, Nicole and I are all excited and, chatting and I'm sure that was quite overwhelming, but I think we were just really excited because we knew kind of where you had been and what you had, your mindset to a degree. Obviously, we needed to get to know you a little bit more to fully understand. But from all your experience, it was very exciting, because we knew that we would have kind of a like-minded individual. So we just appreciate everything, and thank you for your words. Cool. All righty. So, hey, look, today we're going to be focusing on career navigation. We're going to be talking about employment. This is a huge issue that has been talked about for years. And what we wanted to do in Arizona, we've been a part of all the national conversations and all the articles and all sorts of different things out there talking about, it's really hard to get, veterans employed for this and this and this and this reason. And honestly, that's great. Those conversations are really good, but the time for conversing about it was like a decade ago. So what we want to do today is, talk about the infrastructure that's been built. There's been some massive collaboration going on behind the scenes. We've kind of given you a little spots over the course of the couple of years, but boy, it's really come to fruition now. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to jump right in. Before we learn too much more about the actual program, I want to make sure I'm going to throw out a couple of questions to Director Wanda Wright, who all of you have met, hopefully. And if not, she is the director of the Arizona Department of Veterans Services, and, kind of tied in with everything. We partner on all these different aspects, Be Connected, and the employment efforts and all the other things that are going on, transportation and whatnot. And so I'll be referring over to her as well. Hi, Wanda. All right. So this effort started at a time when the Arizona National Guard units were returning from deployment, and they had rates because we did a special survey. They had rates there were upwards of 50% unemployment for returning Guard members post-deployment. Their spousal unemployment was consistently around 27%. Now, this had the effect of essentially forcing Guard members into repeatedly volunteering for deployments in order to be able to make ends meet, because you make more money on a deployment than not. And so it got into this weird cycle of folks having to go back to back with very little time in between. And obviously we know that that has other effects as well on the family and the psyche and whatnot. So we established an employment resource center at Papago Military Reservation. This helped to provide focused support around this area of need. And truth be told, it got started out in an area that was really not much more than a closet. It quickly grew past that, but when we first started out, I mean, it was pretty small. You could fit a couple of people in there semi-comfortably. But we even had a grand opening. Lots of attention was directed toward to help spread the word, which was wonderful. The Phoenix Suns gorilla came and showed up and gave everybody hugs. And boy, that was an odd experience. But one of my favorite little stories out of that was that the Suns gorilla was messing with Nicola's hair. Most of you know Nicola, you'll hear from her a little bit later as well, but messing with her hair while she was doing a live TV interview for the news. Now, she kept her military bearing, which was quite remarkable, despite all the monkey business. Okay, I shouldn't sit there. I know a gorilla's not a monkey, but it's, so Wanda, what were your, I've kind of, kept this humorous, but what were your reflections during this time? You were just gotten out of the Guard right about that point.
Yeah, so 2011, if you guys can sort of recall, was a little bit after the real estate bubble burst. And the economy went into sort of this severe depression. And, I left the National Guard. I retired around the middle of 2011. So this was just getting started. But I was part of that 50% unemployment possibility. I started about a year before I was going to retire to try to find a job. A job for an executive was non-existent coming out at that time. And so I can only imagine what it was like for those Guard members coming back to try to find employment after they've been deployed for 6 months to a year. So it was really difficult at that time. And I was super worried I was never going to find a job.
And it's amazing with all the things that you had done in your career that it's just mind boggling, but that was the hardcore truth. So no matter where you were on the, from E1 all the way up to 899. I mean, right. That's a very secret, rank, by the way. All right, next slide, please. So from there, we conducted a year-long process to develop what we call the Arizona Roadmap to Better Employment. And this established our model of focusing on career seekers, employers, and importantly, employment service providers like Arizona at Work folks, DVOPS, Disabled Veteran Outreach Program workers and whatnot. And in order to be able to create the best possible outcomes. And the roadmap was launched with a summit and proclamation in 2016. Wanda, what was notable about that day?
So that was my very first day of work as the director for the Arizona Department of Veteran Services. Don't I look good in that picture? It's like, how much has changed since then? But yeah, and so even then I recognized that the coalition was like ahead of their time, right? You could see that they were very veteran focused, and me having had experience with, really not being able to be employed, this seemed like such a great initiative that I was sort of sucked in right away.
That's cool. I actually have never heard you say it like that, but that makes a ton of sense. You had that experience, so it resonated, I guess, right?
Very much so.
Oh, interesting.
And I didn't even know you guys really then.
No. No, you didn't know us from Adam. So, that's that's good that the message was resonating well. Okay, so moving along, we're kind of piling on all these different things to be able to create a robust system, right? In 2018, a memorandum of understanding for SkillBridge program was put into place. between the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Economic Security, Luke Air Force Base, Davis-Monthan, and Fort Huachuca, which included MCAS at that point. SkillBridge is a program, for those of you who don't know, that places service members that are within 6 months of separation, think about that, 6 months of separation, who have command approval into internships with civilian employers. During that time, all pay, all benefits are covered by the Department of Defense. The employers can make an offer at the end of that placement for to be able to make it so that the person continues in their employment. So this is a great program. In Arizona, this MOU that we had, Memorandum of Understanding, it was the first of its kind partnership for a statewide SkillBridge program and is definitely considered a promising practice around the country. Our team essentially augments what is provided by the military and creates a bridge between the employers and the job seekers and the military base. So Wanda and I were particularly proud when Senator McCain launched the SkillBridge effort here in Arizona and turned to ADVS and ACMF to implement this in good fashion. While we encourage employers, and many of you are connected to companies, we encourage you to engage with the Department of Defense to become a SkillBridge site. We believe it is very important for our transitioning service members and their spouses and their families to work with our career navigation team. You're going to see why in a few minutes when you hear Randy and Kellyanne talk. Just as a side note, I am sure some of you here will appreciate the challenge of executing an MOU between multiple state entities and federal entities. Woo, we still don't know how we got that done, but good fortune.
Thomas, I always think this is a golden ticket right here.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, very few states have been able to actually accomplish this. And so to be able to have something like this, when I talk to commanders about what we're doing, is invaluable.
I'm with you 100%, and thank you for saying that, because it is a unique situation that wouldn't happen unless all the partners have been working together prior to approaching the military bases. That's where things get really interesting with what we have possible to do in Arizona. So great point. I just wanted to make sure, because this is really important. A further evolution of our work is this thing called Total Navigation Program. This is funded by a grant from Boeing and support from ADVS, Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family. So again, we're combining a variety of different things to help focus on military members. And this essentially makes it so that all active duty Guard, reserve members, and their family members are tied very directly into all the navigation services around career building that we have available to us. So, and finally, in 2020, all of this came together as Be Connected Career Navigation and Employer Engagement. Our team works in partnership with the military, all the state entities that kind of fall under the umbrella of Arizona at Work, and others to provide end-to-end support for all career seekers and employers, with the goal of the best possible matches to benefit both parties, the employer and the career seeker, and the overall Arizona workforce, which, as all of us know, is really growing quite dramatically. We just got new intel. There's a variety of new organizations coming in. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce the architects of this program. It's Kellyanne Wild, Assistant Director of Programs, and Randy Salazar, Team Lead for the Career Navigation and Employer Engagement. Randy, can you tell us about the career navigation journey and some of the results you're seeing with the program?
Good morning, everyone. Absolutely, Thomas. Thank you for the honor and the privilege to be here sharing about this great program that we've been able to really take from the conceptualization of Thomas, Nicola, and Wanda and go into program delivery over the last year. So as you all know, we just came out of, or we're kind of coming out of the tail end of the pandemic and shutdown here in Arizona. When I first took over, it was March of last year, and 150 of our 176 employers at the time all went dormant, and we still had to continue to deliver this program. So we focused on the career seeker. That in that time, while people were unemployed and there was a lot of uncertainty, there was certainty that we could upskill them for the market when the market was prepared for them. In addition to that, we were able to build out this program that we not only engage them, support them, but with the preparation, we really shifted our focus and mindset to come in alignment with that which a lot of us learned in the military. For myself personally, when I came into the military equipped me and empowered me to execute the mission, to go out there and know that I can do any mission that the military set before me. The next phase of my military time really taught me to leave no one behind. And then the final phase of my military time taught me how to become a force multiplier. So I was able to bring that military aspect of the things that I learned here to this team. And it's really resulted in some serious and some significant positive outcomes in the lives of those who served, their spouses and their family members. And I didn't do this alone by any means. I did this with a team surrounded me from leadership upstream all the way down the team. And this program, not only did we deliver, but it is empirically validated. And some of our key stats, as you can see right here, we currently have 307 active career seekers that we are working with on their personal brand, upskilling them for the market, ensuring that they're connected to ADVS, ensuring that they're registered with the VA. We're encouraging everyone to file their service-connected disability claims. It's not just about the job and the placement, but the numbers do speak for themselves. We're currently working with career seekers, mostly enlisted of the rank of E6 and E7, coming out of the military and going into $71,500 a year salaries. Our SkillBridge participation has gone through the roof in terms of career seekers, active duty service members connecting to us. Along with that, even those who did not place into meaningful employment, we're tracking all of them and we transition them into opportunities with higher education, where we call that universal positive outcome. And lastly, I'll state to all of this point, my team is small. When we say we have 307 career seekers, we currently have two individuals working with them day in and day out on their personal brand, their LinkedIn, their resumes, and getting them ready for the market, directly working with them. And those who work with us the most see higher salaries. Those who engage us less see lower salaries. But know one thing about this program: my team will continuously engage every single individual who completes an inquiry form until that person explicitly and directly says, no, thank you. Thank you, Thomas.
Hey, thanks, Randy. Appreciate that. Yeah, that was a little weird. It wasn't allowing me to pop up for a second. Maybe it didn't want to hear from me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and the other piece is that you had to completely revamp the entire program, and you started that in May of last year, March of last year. And so we had to redesign the whole thing, create the infrastructure. And so the beauty of it is that we've built a really strong foundation in order to be able to kind of springboard to the next step, which is expanding all of this. So great work. It's outstanding. I shared a story yesterday about the career nav folks continuing to talk and try to communicate with someone for, probably 9, 10, 12 months, something like that. And they finally got back in contact. You guys do not give up, never surrender, right? And so it's really rather encouraging. All right. Kellyanne, would you talk a little bit about our wonderful team?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Excited to be here. Thanks, Randy. I really want to talk about the data and success and achievements that you just saw on that slide. Does not happen without having an extremely dedicated team. So as Randy said, we're a smaller team, but at the same time, I like to say we are small but mighty. You will not find a more dedicated team that I'm really proud to oversee and work with. So we'll start with Randy Salazar, who you just heard from, who is my team lead for career navigation and employer engagement. I can't say enough about Randy. We met a couple years ago in one meeting, and from there, I knew I had to have him on my team. So brought him over to the coalition, and really truly wouldn't have wanted to build and improve this program with anybody else. We're notorious for saying we're going to have quick 5-minute conversations for our meetings, and then we get brainstorming and strategizing, and that quickly moves to 2 hours. But truly to be able to improve and build a program that can be empirically validated, we're able to do that within several months' time because of the dedication and continuous process improvement that Randy brings to this team. and just the ability to speak to employers in a way where they really understand the advantages of working with our team and working with service members, veterans, and their family members. And then we have Chessa Emmons, who is she's actually our Be Connected program coordinator, but we have her here too because she is instrumental in all things ACMF. But even within career navigation, what she brings to the team is she's always helped us with our spouse initiatives, as well as any time that we need to be calling, our career seekers, anything like that. Chessa's always willing to help. She's also been able to be part of statewide events where she's been talking about what it was like for her to be a spouse in the military and transition into the civilian workforce and what that's like. She's a phenomenal speaker and presenter too, so we're excited to have her on the team. Then we have Felicia, who is our career navigation coordinator. Also, we like to call her the sergeant major of our team, and that is very true. She is highly organized, highly dedicated, will remember everybody's name, what salary, what skill bridge opportunity they're doing, but really and truly what we have Felicia for is she is our statewide skill bridge advisor. So she's continuously helping employers build their strategic skill bridge training plans. She's helping veterans do their vet checklist, constantly working with the military installations. And I'll give you a prime example that just even happened recently. We had 3 skill bridge candidates pending, and we got from Sandy and Elton from Luke Air Force Base that there was an update to the training plan for skill bridge. And Felicia was able to take that and implement that into our process within a matter of hours, update those candidates, update what they needed, and then be able to get that training plan right to them so that there wasn't any lag in them being able to start their skill bridge opportunity. So Felicia is phenomenal with doing that, and then also working with employers just to clarify what is the skill bridge program, how do we start this? She really makes it easy for an employer that's been given that task to be able to implement that and help them all the way through the process. Then we have Tim Benton, who is our systems analyst, so newly promoted to systems analyst. He is truly, behind the scenes, consistently making things for us the most efficient process-wise, and also doing that for the entire team. So being able to track this data that we have. So coming up with the systems for what's the best way to get somebody into this system, and then be able to track all of the various things that we need to have to be able to provide this data of what is the median salary? How are we making sure that these transitions are not just a placement, but a meaningful career placement with a salary that's matching what they had previously within the military? So I always make the joke too with Tim that Tim could really and truly, when Thomas and Nicola ask me, well, what else can we track? I say, we're getting to the point where if you want to know what these candidates are having for breakfast, I promise you, if we meet with Tim, we'll be able to do that. So really, truly instrumental to the team. Then we have Demetrius, who's a career specialist of ours. So really, Demetrius right now is stationed on Luke Air Force Base. So we have a Be Connected office within Luke Air Force Base. And he works and does the one-on-ones with our career seekers, being able to help them with their resume. So one of the things that was really important to me with this program is making sure, we've heard that when you transition into the military, you have a direct schedule of how to be successful and say, okay, you've graduated basic training. But when you transition out, it's almost the exact opposite. So what we did with this program is try to make it as turnkey as possible so that each person entering our program knows exactly the next step to be successful. So Demetrius really takes them through that. I like to call our career specialists the drill sergeants of our program, to make sure that they are getting their resume completed. They are doing branding. Their LinkedIn is ready to go, really making sure that these career seekers are ready to make that transition and be connected to employers. So Demetrius does a phenomenal job of not only meeting with them to see what their resume needs are, but then also seeing if there's anything additional that we can connect them to as well. Then we have Shelby, who's our career specialist also. Shelby does a phenomenal job. She's been with us a few months and really hit the ground, I like to say, not even running, but sprinting. So she also does a similar role as Demetrius, meeting with people to go through their resumes, making sure that LinkedIn is up to date, knowing how to present yourself within an interview. And I just want to highlight Shelby this week was able to work with one of our career seekers and place them into a role in Amazon at $140,000. So it really, truly for us is not just getting people into placements, but getting them careers that they want to see themselves in. The other piece too is making sure that when we're talking to these career seekers, Shelby does a great job of figuring out, well, what is it exactly that you want to do? And then finding out what could that title be? Because sometimes when we're coming out of the military, we don't know all the different roles that work on the civilian side that can transition from what you've done in the military. So it's really finding out what they want to do and getting them there. So she's doing a phenomenal job with our team. And again, $140,000. She just placed somebody in. So she's doing a great job. And then we have Matthew, who's the newest member of our team. So Matthew will be in Yuma as a career specialist for us. We're very excited to have Matthew on board. This is the first time we're having a career specialist within Yuma. He'll be working with employers within Yuma, working with MCAS, making sure that people are having that successful transition within that area. So we're very excited to have him on board. And I know that I have no doubt that Matthew will also hit the ground sprinting, because that's just honestly the way that our team operates. So that is our career navigation team that I'm really excited to have introduced you all to. I know most of you have probably had the opportunity to work with them, but I couldn't be more proud to lead a team like this, a team where one of my roles with them is truly telling them to, we'll be working 12-hour days sometimes. And I feel like sometimes the hardest role for me is telling them to go eat lunch, because that's how dedicated they are. We've all been through the transition ourselves. So we really, truly care about making sure that we're working with the employers so they understand what they're getting with our career seekers, and then making sure these career seekers truly are ready to be connected. So once they go into that interview, they're going to be successful and have that transition, which really, truly, employment can be such an underlying thing that makes you feel good about yourself, makes that transition successful. So this is really a pivotal piece of our program, and I truly can't say enough about this team.
Thanks, Kellyanne. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I think having the right people doing the right work in the right situation at the right time, it's truly priceless. So we appreciate everything that you all have been able to do. It's awesome and exciting, and it allows Wanda and I to be just extreme advocates for what's happening. So part of this is that our Arizona Veteran Supportive Employers are really important to this effort. They are, we'd like to recognize those that earn the designation and then kind of place and hire candidates in a really strong way. So in 2020, right before the pandemic, we hosted an employer recognition event at the Arizona Commerce Authority. A year later, in much the same vein as the symposium, the event had to go viral. Some of you, I think, were there as I scanned through the names. We were still able to recognize the employers who have placed SkillBridge candidates, as well as career navigation candidates who are service members, veterans, and their spouses. Now, Randy's going to share a couple of employer spotlights to give you an idea of how our team works with and supports these organizations. Randy?
Thank you, Thomas. And I just really want to answer two questions that came up in the chat. One,
please, thank you.
Our program is here for everyone. So if you're a active service member transitioning out, even if you're over a year, contact us if you know someone that is. It's for all veterans of all eras. It's for spouses, and it's for we call it the military connected family. So you could be the grandson, granddaughter of somebody who served in the military. Our team will work with you and deliver the best possible services. Secondly, one of our employers said, how can we get going with SkillBridge? Well, there's two ways for you as an employer to do SkillBridge. You can reach out to the Department of Defense yourself, which, hey, we challenge everyone to do that. But you can also work with us under our umbrella. So if you're one of our Arizona Veteran Supportive employers, you're still unsure how you can do SkillBridge, reach out to us. We'll schedule a session with you and we'll get it going, because that's how these highlights started off. Banner Health was kind of doing SkillBridge on their own at the national level. Not kind of, they're doing SkillBridge on the national level. And then we jumped in with them at the local level and really started to see some success. We were able to collaborate our efforts. So what we do is we send them prepared military candidates for SkillBridge. I'm gonna read a little statement that Banner Health sent over to us. Banner Health said that they feel honored to receive this recognition, to be continuously highlighted as an Arizona Veteran Supportive employer, that they are committed to active duty service members, veterans, and spouses, that they are glad to be a part of all of these great partners, from Arizona Department of Veteran Services to the Arizona Corporate Council for Veteran Careers. The Banner Health was one of just a few organizations in Arizona last year at our most recent event to be recognized for not only skill bridging, but for hiring veterans and hiring spouses. We call that the trifecta, and they're extremely excited and honored for that award. And we're highlighting them today, not because they're a large company, but because of engagement. From the highest level to their frontline staff recruiters, Banner Health consistently engages us on a daily and weekly basis to make sure that we are always on the same sheet of music and moving forward with these hiring and skill bridge opportunities. The second employer I want to talk about is though it pains my heart as a life, career, University of Arizona alumni. No, I'm just kidding. Arizona State University Facilities Development and Management, specifically, their team over there is phenomenal. They have taken on 3 skill bridge candidates in the last year. And since our event, they've continued to take on new skill bridge candidates. Their most recent skill bridge candidate is a female transitioning out of the Navy who wanted to go into a stationary engineering role. To Kellyanne's point, Felicia advocated, worked with ASU, helped ASU to understand the value of somebody coming out of the nuclear program in the Navy, and that person did actually indeed have the marketable skills to come over and do stationary engineering. This female, as she transitioned here for her skill bridge to work, to do it at ASU, not only is she going to be a stationary engineer, but she's coming in as an intern, as a senior stationary engineer within Arizona State University's Facilities Development and Management program. And the last employer I want to highlight is Century Group. Century Group, they just don't stop. They and in a good way, they're continuously engaging us. They brought 3 skill bridges on last year, and they've continued to move forward with more skill bridge. The most recent skill bridge that they set up is a corporate safety and quality intern. If you notice, when I talk about these, we're talking about Banner Health. We're talking about human resources opportunities there, strategic planning opportunities. We're talking about Arizona State University and engineering roles, safety and quality interns. We're not talking about low-rung opportunities. These are employers that we're highlighting because they recognize the value and the skill sets that we as military connected people have, and so we want to give them a special shout out at this event. Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, Randy. Okay, so I mean, folks, we can go on and on with this kind of stuff. We won't, but you know, the reality is there's just been a ton of stuff, and the beauty is that now we're starting to see it grow, not just in a regular little line, kind of meandering along, but it's really growing. There are a bunch of folks. I know we've already gone through the skill bridge, but what we're working towards is collecting up names and getting people prepared up to 2 years prior to they get their exit from service. So we've got a host of individuals that are, between 2 years and 6 months when they can start their skill bridge opportunity. And during that time, there's a lot of work that can be done to ensure that they've got full success once they get into their regular career. And, Kellyanne, Randy, Felicia, everybody on the team is ensuring that that's making it happen. So, honestly, hats off to you all. Much appreciated, both of you. Thank you. All right. So, here we go. Get my spot back in. All right. Thank you. Thanks for your patience, folks. And so finally, I'd like to talk about our Arizona Corporate Council on Veteran Careers, ACCVC, or Corporate Council. There's probably a few other names in there. Be Connected Employer Network is one. So this year, after much discussion with Greg DeBernard from USAA and Hal Pittman from APS, who, by the way, is now up at the Pentagon doing some great work there and having a lot of fun, Wanda and myself, it became really important to try to transition the Arizona Corporate Council for Veteran Careers to become a Be Connected Employer Network. So you can kind of think of the network for Arizona veteran supportive employers so that they can share best practices and mutually support Arizona's plan for veteran careers. And what the ACCVC does is create that network. It's a way for all of us to connect. If you're interested in hiring service members, veterans, spouses, anything military affiliated, you need to be connected up with this. Become an Arizona Veteran Supportive Employer and then an ACCVC participant member, because we're going to be doing some really exciting things. One key project of the council that we're doing this year is promoting the veteran affiliated employee resource groups. We've done a complete revamp of a really wonderful guide packed with information, really good information. So we have a second edition of this, and it's called the Arizona Employer's Guide to Veteran Affiliated Employee Resource Groups. And essentially what employee resource groups do and what this guide does is provide you with a step-by-step guide for any employer to build an internal network of military connected employees to support career growth and retention. And boy, does it affect retention. It is a really positive thing. Every time we talk with folks that are engaged with this, they really have a good experience. So the corporate council is helping to provide technical assistance for fellow employers that haven't set these up, work groups and all sorts of other good things along with the guide. The great thing for these is that, they can also do things out in the rest of the world. So it's not just internally an internal organization. I mean, many of you have seen that APS has been such a strong supporter of the Veterans Day Parade, right? That's a big deal. And so they hold a big event and all sorts of good stuff. USAA and APS and many others are involved themselves with the stand down events for homelessness. That's a great activity for folks to get engaged with. It gets you out in the community and all sorts of other good things. So there are a ton of opportunities out there. And because we haven't had as many employee resource groups, we haven't always been able to call on those volunteers. We tap into APS and USAA all the time, but we want other employers to be able to have those as well, because it's a great way of helping your own company develop, helping your employees develop, but also reaching out into the community in the amazing ways that they do. Wanda, why do you get excited about the ACCVC? I know you and I chitty chat about this stuff quite often.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Thomas.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned early on about the three-legged stool of potential employees, employers, and then providers, right? And so this is a group of employers that are providers, if that makes sense. And so they help each other with best practices. They support the structure of employee resource groups for other organizations. They meet regularly to kind of discuss the ongoings of the economy and the things that are happening in the world right now and how it affects employment. And they're just a great bridge and information for us as we continue to try to get these veterans employed, to help the veteran to be better prepared for the jobs, right? And so I always think it's so great when these employers come together, and some of them may be even competitors, but in this they are not, right? In this, they want to see veterans get employed, and they want to do right by them, to make sure they have the best sort of environments possible within each of these groups. So like Thomas said, I highly encourage anybody who's kind of on today that is an employer, and pretty much everybody's an employer these days, right? To be involved and become a Arizona Veteran Supportive Employer, and to be a part of the Arizona Corporate Veteran Careers.
That's really some strong points in there, Wanda. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. All right. So now I'm pleased to introduce our two presenting sponsors for the symposium, who are also establishing partners for the Corporate Council, the USAA and Arizona Public Services. These are two employers that are well known for their employment of and support of service members, veterans, spouses, and their families. The percentage of their folks that are employed is very high amongst the veteran service members and spouses community. So they've also kind of put their I don't know, money or their employment offers where their mouth is. And so what I'd like to do is first introduce Patrick Fitzhugh. He is the Director of Regional Site Management for USAA and a corporate council member as well. Patrick?
Hey, Thomas, thank you for having me. And I'll pass along regrets from Greg DeBernard. He wishes he could be here, but he's fighting, the battle for USAA today. So thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here today. USAA became partners and helped stand up the Arizona Corporate Coalition for Veteran Careers because we believe in the power of community. This next year, we are actually celebrating our centennial. So USAA is turning 100 years old. We're very excited, but if you know the history about USAA, it was actually formed by a group of military officers who came together to insure each other when others wouldn't. So they were able to come together, pool their resources, and they created a solution to support one another. And when I transitioned myself out of the military, did some contracting work and came back to Arizona, I can tell you there were no resources at that time. Between organizations, from what we're seeing from the ACMF here today. So we're very proud to be part of this effort. It's long overdue, and this is where the action is happening. The quote that comes to mind when I think about this organization and all the partners that you see here today is from retired General Stanley McChrystal. And that's purpose affirms trust, trust affirms purpose, and together they forge individuals into a working team. And I think that's what's beautiful from today's symposium to the Arizona Corporate Coalition for Veteran Careers is that you have a team of teams coming together, individual groups, individual organizations that are moving towards a common purpose. And that has really created some amazing trust between the partners. To Thomas's point and to Wanda's point, we are working with people who we would normally consider competitors within the insurance and the financial industry, but we are all passionate about making sure that our transitioning service members and their families have the resources that they need. So I'm going to keep it very short today. I'm going to say, again, it's an honor for us to be here. It's an honor for us to be a founding member of the Arizona Corporate Coalition for Veteran Careers. I hope to see that organization continue to grow. So if you are here on the line and you represent any organization, private, public, please reach out so that we can get you connected and part of a great team of teams. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Wanda. And thank you to everybody here for the amazing work that you continue to do. Back to you, Thomas.
Hey, Patrick, really appreciate your words. Really some valuable points. And I love you adding on to the the concept that there's this is a non-competitive thing, because that's what we've seen is that here major normally marketplace competitors are working together to ensure that service members, veterans, and their families are meaningfully and successfully employed. It's pretty cool. So anyways, hey, thank you for everything. You've been awesome, from your revisions on the new charter to everything else. We really appreciate it, and we'll transition from here, I guess. But thank you, Thomas. Patrick. Appreciate it. All right. So next, I'd like to introduce a video featuring Mike McLaughlin. He is the Vice President of Palo Verde Generating Station, and he will be representing Arizona Public Service. Take it away. Thanks.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you everyone attending the 11th Annual Symposium supporting our military and veteran families and communities across Arizona. APS is known for our support of those who have served and many who still serve in the Arizona National Guard. We are proud of and grateful to the veterans who make up the nearly 20% of our 6,400 employees. We salute them and all veterans throughout Arizona and our great nation. As a company that has been powering Arizona for more than 130 years, APS has long prioritized employing veterans and supporting our military and veteran community in our state. We value veterans in our workforce because our company, customers, and community benefit from the unique skills, experiences, and values veterans bring to the work every day. We are dedicated to investing in programs and organizations like the Arizona Coalition for Military Families that improve the lives of veterans, and we're proud to partner with organizations that share those goals. Over the past several years, our partnership with the Coalition has allowed us to provide thought leadership, develop the Arizona Corporate Council on Veteran Careers, advance workforce initiatives, and equip our community to best care for and support all service members, veterans, and their families. We support our veteran employees and their families on and off the job and provide a way for their APS colleagues to do the same. Our Veteran Engagement Transition Retention Network was formed to create an environment of inclusiveness that fosters loyalty and retention by involving APS employees in volunteerism, outreach, and fundraising that benefits APS veterans in the Arizona veteran community at large. We will continue to partner with and build support for all who serve and have served. We support the coalition because it focuses on addressing the issues faced by our military and veteran communities during and after they have served, which is the least we can do for those who have worn the nation's cloth. We encourage other companies to join us in that support because it's the right thing to do. It's good for veterans, good for our organization, and good for America. In closing, I'd also like to acknowledge the contributions of one of our former APS employees, my friend and colleague, retired Rear Admiral Hal Pittman, a 2020 Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame inductee and an American patriot, who for a number of years worked closely with the Coalition for Military Families and other organizations to build the foundation for the veterans community in Arizona that we enjoy today. So Hal, we salute you. Thank you, Arizona Coalition for Military Families, and thank you all for continuing to advocate for military and veteran issues.
Well, I can just say that we really appreciate APS and Mike's words. They have been a fantastic partner over the years. And Wanda and I are looking forward to working with Mike even further. We're always going to miss Hal, and we're always going to keep in touch with him. But he was a tour de force in this state. But we're looking forward to working with Mike. So one of the areas of focus that is really exciting is our military partnership. So I'd like to invite Wanda. There you are, right there in front of me, to talk about this. Wanda.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. So I think you've maybe heard yesterday and today a few mentions of us partnering with our military installations around Arizona. And so I think the main thing that I'd like to talk about is SkillBridge and the fact that we were able to get that memorandum of understanding and to have all those commanders sign that with us, with the coalition, and with the Department of Economic Security. It has allowed us to do a number of things as we progress through time. One is we have a little bit of a coalition with those installations in their transitioning sections on base. So we meet with them quarterly to try to work through SkillBridge issues and to support the SkillBridge sort of line that we have that Randy was telling you of those that we get actually in the SkillBridge programs and ultimately employed. So that MOU has been really miraculous. And we did have the Success Center outside of Luke Air Force Base. The Luke Air Force Base decided to reuse that facility, but now because they're reusing that facility, they've allowed us to be on base in part of their transition program, which I think is really important work for us. Not only can we support employment, but we can also support through Be Connected, sort of the holistic approach to the service members and their families as they seek their lives in Arizona. And I think that's a really important part to what we're doing with all of this, is that when the service member decides to transition to Arizona, that they feel fully comfortable being here and have support in all areas for their entire family. And so with the Marine Corps Air Station, we have career navigation and SkillBridge placement for service members and their family. Luke, we have SkillBridge placement. We work heavily with TEP down there on SkillBridge. I'm sorry, I meant to say at Davis-Monthan, we work with TEP. Luke Air Force Base, we also are not only SkillBridge, but transitioning. Davis Mothan, we work very well with their FRG, Family Readiness Group, and their transitioning team to do capstone and sort of manage transitioning service members who want to stay in Arizona. And then of course there's Fort Huachuca. We just recently worked on getting not only our veteran benefit counselor on base once a quarter, but we've added a navigator from Be Connected. And so all of these things point toward us grabbing those service members before they even leave to offer them SkillBridge, or even if they're fairly close to leaving and can't do SkillBridge, the opportunity to do career navigation so that they stay in Arizona and work for employers in Arizona. And that's a really important thing for all of us. Thanks, Thomas.
Why, thank you, Wanda. Yeah, that's great. It's been a lot of work, and that stuff is just going to continue to expand. So we're really excited about it. Hey, most of you have seen the Connected Veteran magazine that we sent out, which is kind of Be Connected as a whole. And we received really positive comments regarding that. Thank you so much. We hope that it was especially helpful in the rural areas where there may not be as much dissemination of information. But that's a great piece, and we hope that, I think we're probably putting the link into that into the chat. But we're really excited because we're going to be doing a career navigation special edition, the Connected Veteran, and this is going to be focused on both employers and career seekers. We're initially going to be releasing it as a PDF, just like the Veterans Employee Resource Group guide. We can do printed copies as well, but we're just trying to be digital at this particular point. And we're going to be releasing this in the next month, probably a little bit less than that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is Lynn Hadley from APS had a great comment in the chat about sponsoring, and so kind of like mentoring or sponsoring veterans coming in. These are the types of ideas and programs that that the companies are doing, and that they're sharing some of the lessons learned. So please, again, get involved with the Arizona Corporate Council for Veteran Careers. I'll be sending out an email to every single person that registered for this over the couple of days, about 900. Every single one of you is employed or knows an employer in some way. If that's the case, please refer that email to them so that they can get engaged with us. If you're not an Arizona Veteran Supportive Employer, or you're working for an organization that is not, there's a lot of benefits that come from that. So please engage with us. It provides more opportunities for folks that are in the veteran community that are looking for jobs. So it's a good thing all around. All right. So we have had a very full session already today, and we've got some awesome breakouts coming out. So we invite you to join those breakouts. You've got 6 options to choose from, 2 full sessions. And if you join the breakout session, click the agenda link in your conference center, which I believe is also in the chat. And we will see you back at 11:30 as we close things out. We're going to be sharing some really specific ways for you and your organization to get involved. We also have a link in there for the event survey. Y'all have been awesome. Thank you.